Ready?
Yep.
Hey, everybody, it's Mike from Here the Watchmen, and we're here today with David Paxton in New York City. David,
New
thanks for
York
joining us.
City.
New York City. Uh, and David, we've got a few things we want to cover today. We got some
Okay.
exciting news for you folks as we progress in this interview. But the first thing that I want to talk about today with David is David, what's going on in New York City? Are you guys open up?
Oh my goodness. What a debacle it is over here. Uh, with Big Bird de Blasio just screwing up everything. He doesn't even know how to answer a simple question. He's screwed up everything. He's got the police resigning. So the word on the street is about 600 of them are going to resign. And all this social distancing, except of course, unless you're protesting, then you don't have to social distance so much. Or if you're the mayor's daughter, you don't have to do any of that. You can
Well,
go
I
in
mean,
like,
listen, the thing is, you can riot and steal stuff out of stores. You can loot. You can be a hoodlum. You can do all that. And the coronavirus, for some reason, doesn't touch you.
but you still can't go to church.
That's right. You still can't go to church. You still can't go to a conference in person. But hey, go downtown, steal stuff out of Saks Fifth Avenue,
Yeah, we'll slap you on the wrist and let you go.
all the other places there. Go ahead and go down there and break the windows and steal stuff. That's okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's just it just Mike. It's not even worth making fun of anymore. It's gotten that bad. It's just, oh my God, how many times can you make fun of the same insane nonsense?
Yeah, no, it's very true. It's very true. So, when you go out on the streets there right now, what do you find? I know you and I talked the other day about they have made social distancing ambassadors and they're
Yeah,
sending them out to the parks. What's up with that?
I got a video of it, and it's just this. Was a guy walking around. Apparently, couldn't get a job anywhere else, but he's walking around, and he's got this brand new vest on, and he's walking around. He's just handing out masks to everybody in the park. Oh, here's a mask. Oh, here's a mask. And so I just went along with the program. I said, "Oh, you're the mask guy, huh?" And I'm not wearing one, you know. Oh, he goes, "Oh yeah." So the guy was really nice, actually. I said, "Well, so you just handed them out, huh?" He goes, "Yeah. Would you like one?" Sure, I'll take one because every once in a while I do some little construction work and I need the mask for the dust. I was like, I was thinking I could do this, you know. So he hands it out, and then he turns to walk away. He was still very nice, and it said social distance ambassador. I'm like, what? This is where my tax money is
Yeah, I
going?
mean, he gets paid for that?
Yeah. And apparently they signed up like 1,000 people to walk around New York City and make sure people are social distancing, you know. Meanwhile, he's walking up to everybody to hand them the mask. So I don't get it.
Well,
It's just,
I mean,
this world is just upside down,
it
you know.
is totally. And David, where is God
There's
in all this?
Oh my God, the irony of it all. These people are going around with, oh, well, socialism is great. Defund the police. We don't need them in capitalism. Meanwhile, socialism is all about a police state. And then they go around calling everybody a Nazi. I'm like, wait a minute. You love socialism, but you're calling me a Nazi as if it's a bad thing. What does Nazi mean? It's German for National Socialist Party. So it's just a big pile of ignorance. And I walk around and there are, it's New York City, so we got, 9 million people here. So some of them are waking up and they're just like, you know what, we're going to do what we want. Thank you very much. But then you still get the people. I walk down the street with no mask and they're like, they look and they go to the other side of the sidewalk and they're walking around. You go into some stores don't mind so much, so it's coming back half and half now. And some of them like, oh my God, put your mask on. That's a hoax, right? Okay.
Well, I'll tell you
So
this. I mean, listen, in the town that I live in the mountains, there are two people in
yeah,
town who wear masks, and they're flaming liberals, but that's okay. I mean, they're doing the best they can. They're both older, and they're trying to get through this, and I respect that. But we went to Missoula, Montana.
Missoula.
I had to order new glasses, which I don't have in yet, so I still can't see crap. But when we went there, everyone in Missoula, Montana wears masks. We went to the Costco. They hand you a mask, and you have to wear that mask. They have like little, like you said, social distancing monitors that are Costco employees walking around the store. And if they see you without their mask on, they'll come up and tell you you have to put it on or you have to leave the store.
Did it have a
Now,
frog?
at some point in all of this, David, we need to look at this and say, is this really about protecting us from the virus, or is this about control? What do you think on that?
That's like a rhetorical question. Of course, it's about control. Because this is nonsense. Even Fauci himself said in January, masks don't do any good. Now the CDC just came out and said, well, if you're asymptomatic, you can't pass it along. So, which is it? That everyone's got it and they're giving it to their grandparents, or you can't pass it along if you don't have any symptoms. It's just a big farce. And I mean, ultimately, it's designed to take down Trump, which would take down America, which would take down and build a new world order. But that's the bigger picture of it all. But it's definitely off control.
Well, no, we talk about, or I don't, but you see on social media and on mainstream news all about this stuff about defunding the police departments. Now, I don't know about you. Up here where I live, we all carry a gun. And we don't carry a gun to shoot people. We carry a gun to protect our livestock and our animals from, critters that will come in and try and kill them. And I always laugh because I look at this stuff in California about mountain lions and coyotes, and a coyote comes in and kills a kid or attacks a kid or something like that, and they have to do $1 million study on how to relocate the coyotes. We don't do that here. We just shoot them. Once you shoot them, you just shoot a few of them, and then all their little buddies say, whoa, boy, we want to go to a different place. But, you look at that and everything that's going on in the country right now. You look at, like, we live in a place where, like I said, you can open carry. It's no big deal. So we don't have any real violence up here. I mean, we have domestic violence like everybody does, but we don't have any. I mean, there's no looters coming into this town, and if they did, it wouldn't be pretty for them. But we are moving into a society in America where people are afraid. I mean, they're afraid to go to the grocery store. They're afraid to go down Park Avenue or down to Central Park. They're afraid to do that. And what do you think the agenda is there?
Well, it's the whole New World Order because, in a nutshell, they want to create chaos so they can send in the savior that's going to bring all the peace. Okay, and if someone, maybe George Soros or somebody, was funding all of this, you get all the chaos going, and then they know exactly what the chaos is, and they'll come in, and all of a sudden, okay, everybody stop, and it looks like this guy is bringing all this peace. Oh, look, everybody's happy now. When in reality, if you just let people be, you'll have the peace. It's historically the governments and the people who want control that cause all the chaos. People work out their own differences, though.
Yeah, I mean, these are definitely interesting times. Now, the Bible talks to us about plagues and all of this that's going on right now. Where do you think, in your opinion, okay, and folks, don't get all guano crazy. This is just David and I talking. David, what's your opinion on where we are right now within the Bible?
Oh, Thursday at noon, he'll be back. Don't worry about it. That's for all you date setters. Um, well, he talks about the birth pains, okay, and these signs will increase just like birth pains increase. When you're 1 month pregnant, you get a little sick, okay, and you're 3 months pregnant, you start to feel little shifts and all that stuff. When you're 8 months pregnant, things start to really prepare for the birth. But when you're at the end, everything intensifies. So you're gonna see birth pains beforehand. So anyone that says, "Oh, we've seen these earthquakes for a while," yeah, but there are literally 10 times as many earthquakes now as there were in the latter half of the 20th century. All right, so they're intensifying. Well, we've always seen race wars. Yeah, but have you ever seen them intensify like this? And the Bible clearly says when he says nation will rise against nation, it literally is ethnos, which is the race. Race will rise against race. Okay, and so we see that not necessarily that it's systematic, but it's being pushed. Okay, so we see that coming on top of it. We see the signs in the heavens. Over the last few years, we've seen a ton of different signs in the heavens. And people thought they were, oh, if you mark that day. I remember the Rosh Hashanah with the blood moons. People were saying, oh, that's the day, because that's when the last blood moon was on Rosh Hashanah. Well, yeah, but that's a sign. Just like when you're driving down the road, it's a sign that says, hey, your exit's a mile ahead. It's not necessarily the exit, but it was a sign. So we see all these signs with the in the heavens. We see the earth shaking. We see the people going just nuts, and it's not right at the end yet because we've got to see men's hearts fail them for fear. I think we're probably looking at some kind of nuclear stuff going on, maybe an EMP, because there is reason to believe that they're talking about horses and arrows and swords and stuff in the end times. So you got two sides of that view of, well, maybe he didn't understand what a gun was and what a motorcycle was, so maybe that's what he thought. Or did we really go back to horses and swords because we blew up the whole electronic system with an EMP? Or maybe a solar flare that just wiped out all electronics and we set us back to the 1800s. So there's a lot of things, and God never actually, he'll tell you what's going to happen, but he won't give you all the details because he doesn't want the devil to know. Because when we go back to the cross, he gave us all the details, but you couldn't see them until after it was done, all in one place. Because if the devil knew, he would have never killed Jesus, and then our salvation wouldn't be there. So we got the same thing at the end. And as a prophecy teacher, you got to make people understand that. We're not setting dates. We're telling you, listen, this is about what's going to happen. We're going to obviously see it when it's all done. And that's what prophecy is about. It's not about fortune telling. It's about understanding that God told us ahead of time. And when these things happen, we can say that was Almighty God. And there's no doubt that the Bible is the Word of God and nothing else.
Well, David, it's interesting. I mean, wonderful description about the pregnancy thing. I would think that you had actually been pregnant at some point in your life.
I was at one time.
Yeah, but it's interesting to look at that because, obviously I'm 61 years old and I have 4 kids. So, I mean, it's like I've been through this. I've watched it, and you watch a pregnancy where at first it's not pleasant, and then all of a sudden it gets wonderful, and then there's birth, which is painful. And if men had to go through that, there'd be half the population that there is today. But that is truly what is happening in America and around the world today, is we're witnessing this stage of birth pains from Christ. And it's interesting times that we live in. It truly is. I was speaking with Jamie Walden, a wonderful warrior for Christ, this morning. And we were talking about, obviously, I run Hear the Watchmen, and I'm in touch with a lot of guys that are up on the wall and women who are up on the wall. And there comes a time when we need to pick up the sword. Do you think we're at that point now?
Yeah, I mean, one of the verses, actually, Jamie and I do a show, and what the verse I use on there is Jesus himself said, I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. And there's a time for it. And I mean, you could also use the metaphor that, the word is a two-edged sword. But then what do you do with the verse where the disciples are going out and he says, if you don't have a sword, sell your coat and go buy one, and then go out and preach, and that's kind of a Second Amendment verse we could use. He tells you to prepare and to get your weapons ready because an infidel does not care for his family, right? If you're not protecting yourself and your family, you're an idiot. It's as simple as that. So for anyone to say, "Oh, but God is a God of peace," yeah, well, he flipped tables. He called them a den of vipers, and he did have his purpose to be here. So he let them take him and kill him. But he clearly told them, he says that I could call 10,000 angels right now, and have you all wiped out in a second. But I have a purpose for being here. Okay. So, yeah, there's a time when we need to protect ourselves, our families, the rights that God has given us, and use that to, like, when David was at King Saul, he went up when he was sleeping and he cut off the bottom of his, Batman cape or whatever he had. I forgot what they call it. And then he came back to him later and said, look, I could have killed you. Okay. So if you have that ability and you could tell someone, listen, I could have killed you right now. However, I let you live so you can have an opportunity to receive Christ. It's more powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, listen, we talked about Jamie Walden. We're talking about Hear the Watchmen.
Mm-hmm.
We are Hear the Watchmen, folks, is going to Orange County, California, November
Yes.
5th through the 8th, and we are going there come hell or high water. Now, don't send me a bunch of comments saying like, "Oh, you said hell." It's in the Bible, but we're going to go there. We're going to do it at the Hilton Irvine, Orange County Airport Hotel. You can go to our website, hearthewatchmen.com, and you can see everything about it. David will be there with us. But, the thing is, folks, we're done. We're over all of
Mm-hmm.
this garbage with the COVID-19. We are going to gather in person,
Yes.
period. I don't care if Jeannie and I have to go out and rent an industrial building and hold it in the industrial building for the weekend. I don't care if we have to put a tent up on the beach. We are going to go there and we are going to gather in person. This will
Yes.
not be one of these conferences that gets canceled and then you have to stream the speakers. We're going to get together in person and you need to
Amen.
get there. Uh,
Right?
go.
Even if we have to call it a riot, we're going to get together because they're
Yeah.
allowing riots these days. So we'll just do that if we have to.
We're going to make it happen. We're
Yep.
going to make it happen. And you need to get on board and you need to get there. We need your support. Okay. We're going way out there on the end of the limb.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do it, though. Jeannie and I are going to do it. So we need your support. We need you to buy a ticket, get there. You can get tickets right now through, I think it's July 1st for $89. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. Hotel rooms are $115. I dare you to find a
Mm-hmm.
hotel room at a five-star hotel in Orange County, California for
Mm-hmm.
$115 a night. Get there, make it happen. David, what's your experience? Last year you were there and we had a blast over at In-N-Out Burger. But other
Mm-hmm.
than that, what was your experience with that conference?
Other than the In-N-Out Burger?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. Every time you go, it's a new experience. There's the old people, or not old people, but the people you've known for a while.
Yeah, you're talking about me.
There's friends you've known for a while that you get to see again, and you get to rekindle that relationship. But there's always new people as well. I know we had a lot of millennials that came last time that were very excited, and now I see them carrying the torch and coming up, and that spreads too, because now my daughter, who's Gen Z millennial-ish, has actually caught that too, and I'm hoping to see if she can come out too. Well, we'll make some arrangements for that. But the Holy Spirit has really moved on her, and then we have some other people in our network now that are just become really good friends because of it. Plus the teaching that's there as well. They tend to go a little bit further, a little bit deeper when they're at a Hear the Watchmen conference than they just normally would. It's not just, oh, well, basically I'm reading my book. It's, hey, let's sit down, let's answer the questions, let's get into the book, let's find out what's really going on here, and more family-ish, if you would.
Well, it totally is. And that's why, I mean, folks have said, what happened to Hear the Watchman? That's why we haven't done online conferences, because that's not what we do. We are all about bringing the remnant body together. And you can't do that online. You have to do that in person. So we're excited about it, but wait. But wait, there's more. Friday, Jamie Walden and I will be making a major, major announcement. And you guys all need to tune into that. It'll be posted on YouTube at about noon Eastern time. David, you know a little bit about what we're going to do, but without giving it away, are you excited?
Yeah, you have no idea. I can take some of my prophecy teaching skills and other skills that I have and use it to bring the body together and just have a blast. So there you go. That's all you get.
It'll be, I'll tell you what, folks, you don't want to miss that announcement. You want to be a part of it, because it's something, and I'm not going to give it away, but it is something that will change your life. And it is not a conference. It's something very much different than a conference, where we can get together and fellowship and talk with one another. I'm telling you, just wait till Friday till you hear about all this. Well, David, I want to thank you for joining us today, and I want to thank you for everything that you're doing in your service to Jesus, and fighting the good fight and continuing on in the battle no matter what. Just thank you so much. And how can people find you and follow you?
There's two different ways. Right now, we're in the process of building our website, thehiddenday.com. You can go there and you'll at least get link to our YouTube channel for now. But believe me, there's a lot of stuff going on in the background, like a duck. On top is nice and cool, but underwater it's going like this. And if you want to email me, it's thehiddenday@yahoo.com. But you'll see our YouTube channel up there, and we're also putting up Brighteon. We're putting up some other social media sites because we're anticipating the crackdown on Christians. So we're building a lot of different sites where you can still get our information. But that's the main place.
Wow. Very exciting, folks. Get on board. Follow David. Check out his channel. He has some great interviews with a lot of different people, and you want to get over there and just check it out. So, David, thanks again for taking time out of your day there in New York City.
New York City.
Yeah, and spending time with us, and we love you, and can't wait to see you.
Amen.
In the next couple of months.
All right, brother.
All right, folks, that's going to do it today for Hear the Watchman's Journey. David Paxton, Mike Kerr, come on out. Let's make a difference in the world. We'll see you next time here on the next edition of Hear the Watchman.